Smiling Friends is one of the fastest growing, wildly popular adult cartoons in recent years. Forget Big Mouth and Rick and Morty, my entire Twitter feed is blessed with Smiling Friends content. If you've never seen the show, well, good on ya. It's about a group of guys who work for the company Smiling Friends, whose job is literally to make people smile. It sounds like a goofy, simple idea, but the show manages to be ridiculous, clever, stylistically distinct, and surprisingly great at world building. Season 3 just wrapped up, and since I recently binged the entire series for the first time, I figured, why not rank every episode from the newest season? Now, there will be spoilers for the whole season, so if you're afraid of those, get off my timeline. Now, if you haven't seen the show, I'm sorry, but I'll quickly name every character you should know, so when I say their name, you aren't lost as to who I'm referring to. So we have Charlie, Pim, Mr. Boss, Alan, Mr. Frog, and Glep as the main people you need to really know. So without further ado, let's dive into episode 1. Now, I feel like episode 1 is already among Smiling Friends icon royalty, because I can quote this thing almost word for word. The
Alan, we are so fucked
line has been living in my head rent-free since release. The A-plot with Charlie and Pim helping this Looney Tunes style character named Silly Samuel climb out of his depressive rut works really well. Samuel himself is the reason half the jokes land. Connor O'Malley voices him perfectly. But the B-plot is what really sells it for me with this episode. Mr. Boss is one of the funniest characters in the show, and this episode gives him gold. The building inspection sequence, the screw holding up the entire building.
No, I'm serious.
The building rolling downhill like it's alive. I was in tears. I also love how both storylines connect at the end, with Samuel feeling appreciated, but also this...
Hello?
Oh my gosh. Yo guys, it's me, Charlie. Hey, did that guy just turn into sand?
Yeah, what was that?
is classic too. For episode 1, I'm going A tier. I'm not going to lie, this episode is hard carried by one scene and one scene in particular, and that is the brutal gut punch of a moment between Mr. Frog's dad and Mr. Frog. Mr. Frog was one of those characters before who had funny moments, but I've never been like in love with him, so bringing him back was kind of meh for me. He's kind of a shock humor kind of character, and after one episode you kind of get turned away. But turning this meh character into one with a brutal scene between him and his father, conveying a shit ton of emotion in a show that is quite brain-rotted in nature, and leaving me taken aback by its rawness, well, damn. Def gets some brownie points for that. I think everything else surrounding this episode is just okay though. Like Charlie and Pim have some alright bits with Mr. Frog, but everyone else at Smiling Friends takes a back seat to Mr. Frog, so it's just kind of whatever. In all of the show's history, there's not one moment where I've sat back and just got lost in the dialogue and realness of what I was seeing. So that moment between Mr. Frog and his dad, sheesh. It's a wreck of a time. I'm going A tier for this episode. This episode should really just be called Meh Man. Jokes aside, this episode is alright. I think the concept of a mole man living under the Smiling Friends building is hilarious, and not an out-of-concept thing for the series, but I think the mole man himself was just not that funny.
You didn't just see my penis, did you?
Bit was kind of a drag, to be honest. My favorite part of the episode was watching Glep and Alan actually have to do work in place of Pim and Charlie, though. Seeing those two get a little bit of time and energy within the series is always a plus. I thought their taking care of the actual gremlin children of this woman was hilarious, too. And the conclusion for the episode was kind of funny, although just weird. That's kind of the whole point of the show anyways. For me, this is easily a C-tier episode. Now, episode 4 is a masterpiece.
It was perfect.
Genuinely. One of the best episodes of the show, in my opinion.
Now that's quality content.
It is insanely creative. I love the Halloween special in the first season, but this one takes the cake for the best Halloween episode in the series. I love the jokes.
Pam, why don't you come along with me so you can hold my flashlight and be my little flashlight bitch?
The style, the art, the sound design, the horror inspiration behind certain scenes. It's just phenomenal. I like the underlying theme of this curse being brought onto the crew because they just don't listen to Pim, which causes them to go insane by the end of the episode. Watching the horror inspiration unfold on each character was haunting. Like Glep turning into an exorcist-like design, Charlie's entire body melting in the mirror, Alan changing shape, and Mr. Boss chasing after his mother's ghost, all while Pim ends up burning alive in the building. The use of color, transitions, and overall animation is astounding in this episode too. Like I said before, it's insanely creative. How the episode ends is hilarious. Having the whole thing be a little vision shown in this crystal ball this witch is holding, only for Mr. Boss to just choke her out, and then cars proceed to run over the scary version of Alan. Whole episode had me dying, especially this joke.
I can't believe you killed me inside the orb, dude. Like, I mean, granted, I was being mean to you earlier, and that was very out of character for me, and I apologize, but
I didn't think you had it in you, Pim.
S tier episode without question. Episode 5 is a fun one because it features the entire Smiling Friends squad as the main premise. Mr. Boss sends the entire crew out to his forest mountain house for vacation, but within the first 5 seconds, Charlie and Pim get side quested into the forest because Charlie believes Mr. Boss's house is by some sort of magical item that he can achieve, only finds out that the forest is deeply disturbing actually. I think this episode is alright. It's kind of nice seeing Mr. Boss interact with Glep and Alan, even if it gets weird. There are some funny moments between the cast of characters that I enjoyed. However, the main A plot is just okay to me. Like, the twist that there's pollution in the forest keeping Mother Nature at bay is kind of funny, but nothing too hysterical for me. The claymation in the forest is really cool though, it's really creative, but I just felt like the episode wrapped up kind of fast too. I think this is a very serviceable one, but nothing I'm dying to revisit in rewatches, so it's B tier for me. This episode provided a pretty entertaining time that's gripping but also kind of wild. Scrim is an insert character to fill in for Charlie, and it's revealed he was a former employee at the company but got fired in 2001 for reasons unknown. He's this wildly animated, joyous, and positive character, but comically so. He's paired up with Pim because Charlie is sick, so Pim and Squim take on the streets to fix up people's sadness. But it quickly turns awry, because Squim is comically positive. The Charlie B plot is pretty unique and funny. Charlie takes off by saying he's sick when in reality he isn't and just plays games all day, only for Mr. Boss to find out he's on Steam and forces him to come to work or he'll be fired, only for Charlie to start actually getting sick and his reality starts breaking because of how bad his cramps are. I can attest that my fever dreams are just like these. There are some funny moments in this episode, especially with how things wrap up for Squim by the end, and the Charlie sickness struggles is quite funny too, but it's another serviceable episode for me. I feel like it's nothing too crazy or memorable, so B tier. Schmaloogles is a hilarious episode. Charlie and Pim are forced to help this group of blue people out called Schmaloogles for work, and while they're there, they find out that there's a heinous plot against this group of people from a dangerous threat that oversees their land. So when Pim is taken to that dangerous threat, the episode breaks off into 2 parts. One where Pim has to survive the dangerous wizard, and the other where Charlie must convince these small blue people to help his friend. Both plots are goddamn hysterical in my opinion. Charlie gets a lot of hilarious one-liners here.
Hey, stop doing your stupid little dance. The village was just attacked and your friends were kidnapped and you're not going to do anything about it except for dance around and talking nonsense? You suck and you're weak little cowards.
As well as the comical rotoscoped training montage for the Schmaloogles. While Pim's story is just hilarious too. This whole bit about the wizard balding and the reception people have against people with or without hair had me in tears.
I want you to tell me what you think this guy does for a living, okay?
Looks like a construction worker, a mechanic, like just someone who works with
interesting. So sort of like blue collar. Now, what does this guy do?
Seeing the eventual stories clash as Charlie brings the entire Schmaloogle army with him to break into the wizard's tower to save Pim, which is true bro shit by the way, and Charlie realizing the wizard is just balding and says this.
Oh, that's your problem? Dude, you don't need schmaloogles. You just need, like, finasteride and minoxidil.
I just love how the crux of this episode revolves around a dude insecure in his hair stages. Also, the ending is just wild.
When we were storming the castle before and going up the steps, I saw you take a picture of Princess Schmaloogle from underneath her dress. I just want to say I'm really not okay with that.
This had my blood boiling, because this kind of accusation is crazy. You can't just say that. But also, the crew goes to a Wawa right after this, and this is how I found out that this show is based in the state I live in. What a world. Yeah, the more I think about this episode, the more I like it. It's really funny, all the way through. S tier episode for me. The finale of Smiling Friends Season 3 is a pleasant one to be sure. I'm a sucker for specific episodes dedicated to one character, like the Alan one from Season 2 for example. The Glep ep gives some backstory to Glep's life through various flashbacks as he remembers his time on this planet. Mr. Boss gets upset at Glep and calls him out for basically doing nothing for the company, which causes Glep to flee and reconsider his life's options. I think this episode has a lot of great moments and jokes. Glep running off to a bar, getting carded, having to relive his old memories was funny because we get a lot of bits involving Rome, the founding fathers of America, and of course, a rotoscoped guy at the bar. The episode reveals that Glep was the founding member of Smiling Friends, who basically built the company, which is quite huge. But in my opinion, I wish this episode had a B-plot to prove Glep's absence was missed, because we get this final moment where we see everyone dealing with a bunch of shit, but we don't actually witness a B-plot that shows this happen. I wish we did. It would show Glep's influence more on the company. Also, throughout the show, we do watch Glep in the background doing chores in the workplace or fixing up the joint. I think this episode should have taken us into his point of view for moments like that from all 3 seasons. I think it would have hit harder. However, I do love the winter setting, and the final Christmas dinner bit is hysterical.
Everyone can get along with each other, except for a certain group of people. You know who I'm talking about.
Excuse me?
Just wrapping up
You
the
said
episode.
something. You said something about a certain group of people. What?
Oh, it was a
which
joke.
Group,
It was
which
a joke.
group are you talking
It was
about?
a joke, but it didn't land as much as I thought. But doesn't matter. I guess, whatever. Cha-cha-cha.
I think this is a pretty fun conclusion, and it makes me yearn for more episodes of Smiling Friends. Hopefully it doesn't take 3 years. For me, the Glep Ep goes in B tier for me. Smiling Friends is one of those shows you put on with not a care in the world about where it's going with this story. I had a blast watching this season. Season 3 is just as good as the first 2 in my opinion. Watching most of these episodes with my friends on Discord was so much fun, and I couldn't have asked for a better time watching this season than by doing that. So here's my final ranking of Smiling Friends Season 3's episodes. Y'all agree? Let me know in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button as we're closing in on 20K, and I need to get there, or I'll delete this entire channel. We don't want that. Now, do we? Thanks for watching this video, y'all. I'll see y'all very soon. Peace out.